Now, before I start, any clip I play, I don't own the rights to that content. It's for educational purposes only. Former unified welterweight champion Jaron Ennis is getting a lot of scrutiny because who he chooses to fight in his tune-up. I mean, out of all the 154 pounders out there, why did he pick Lima? But Ennis is even surprised he's fighting Lima. Let's hear what he has to say.
I mean, surprised, yeah, because that's not like who we wanted. You know, I asked for, you know, Ramos and Chuck and all these other guys, you know, and Lima was the only one that was available that took it. Everybody else either injured or got a fight coming up or mandatory. And like I said before, I'm glad somebody, you know, I'm glad Lima took it. And he a top 10 guy and he a IBO champion. So, you know, we're gonna handle him, get him out the way, and then, you know, on to the next. You know, we're gonna get busy.
A little side note story, and I think it's kind of funny. Jesus Ramos Jr. took to Twitter and said Eddie Hearn sent the offer to the wrong Ramos. He sent the offer to his uncle Abel Ramos, who fights at 147. And he says uncle wasn't available and it was a BS offer, the whole nine. So in other words, Boots wanted an easier touch than Lima. He wanted to move up 147 pounder to 154 and fight him in his tune-up. That is crazy. It's not enough that you're having a tune-up, but you're gonna move up 147 pounder to fight in that tune-up. That sounds like some vintage Gervonta Davis. Just saying, that is definitely a PBC move. If you're moving up to 154 and still fight naturally 147 pounders, is that really moving up? So for now, can we at least stop the comparisons to Roy Jones, to Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard 2.0, and he's supposed to be better than Terrence Crawford? When has Terrence Crawford did anything like this? Boots is none of those guys until further notice. I'm not going to read this, but basically, Rick Glazer says that Keith Thurman has turned down the Vergil Ortiz fight. And I'm paraphrasing. He also says that Keith Thurman is looking for a soft spot to get a big paycheck. That is exactly what I said. Keith Thurman is looking for easy money. You know what I'm saying? He'll say, well, I want all these contracts. I want Vergil. I want Teofimo. I want Boots Ennis. But really, he doesn't want that smoke. Like I said, Keith Thurman does not take body shots well. And none of us like body shots, but it really affects Keith Thurman. And Ortiz Jr. is an excellent body puncher. Now the latest rumor is that Keith Thurman is negotiating to fight Fundora next. And to me, stylistically, that is an even worse matchup. A Fundora who's 6'5", 6'6", that knows how to use his jab now. And by the way, he can thank his sister for that, Gabby. Keith Thurman is going to have to get inside that big monster, and Keith Thurman likes boxing from the outside. I wonder, what is Keith Thurman going to do? He's 37 years old. He needs the money, obviously. He's going to have to do something. And he doesn't want to go to Turki Al-Sheikh because Turki Al-Sheikh gave him an offer. He turned that down. And I know that wasn't a BS offer. He just didn't like the competition. I think he's looking for a soft spot. All these rumors, him fighting Fundora, Vergil Ortiz, Boots. I'm not believing any of that until Keith Thurman gets in the ring. It's hard for me to believe a fighter who's had 2 fights in 6 years. But the latest rumor is Fundora. We'll see what happens.
I would like Crawford to be more at light middle and middle to build into it, but you take these opportunities when they come, and that's what greatness is, chasing it.
Yeah, and I've heard that before. Like you know, some people said if you see him at 154, he fought a Madrimov, and you saw him actually got touched. Obviously, it's 2 different fighters, but why do you think he should probably? You think he should have probably taken another fight, maybe at 160 or maybe another one at 168?
You need to build into it a bit. I think the fight with Madrimov was his first fight at
154.
At 154, and listen, you're still developing and growing into that weight. You could have done with a couple more there, then moved up to 160. But
John Ryder, who went 12 grueling rounds with Canelo Alvarez, got his nose broken, explains why he thought Crawford should take a couple more fights at 154 before pursuing Canelo Alvarez at 168. You know what? I could not agree more. The problem with that is, I think Crawford's original plan was to be undisputed at 154, fight Canelo at 168, try to become 4-time undisputed champion, and ride off to the sunset. But the problem with that is the politics of boxing. See, a lot of Crawford detractors are delusional. They believe that Crawford could have had all these big fights at 154, when the truth is, none of these champions wanted to fight him. The only one that was brave enough to fight him was Madrimov, and that's why he took that fight. And the detractors will say something silly like, he could have fought Vergil Ortiz. Yeah, Vergil's down for the fight, but Oscar got Vergil Ortiz wrapped in bubble wrap. He don't want him to fight anybody. He's been with Oscar for 9 years and haven't had a title shot. That tells you something about Oscar right there. And to be honest with you, when Vergil's contract comes up, he should leave Golden Boy and go somewhere else. Then they talk about Fedor. Fedor had no interest in fighting Terence Crawford. He wanted to fight Errol Spence. And of course, Scampson will say all the right things. Oh, Crawford's old, he looked older against Madrimov, but he would not take the smoke. And before that, Tim Tszyu said all the right things. But what happened at the end? Tim Tszyu was trying to fight Keith Thurman. He got sabotaged, fought Fedor, and Tim Tszyu hasn't been the same since. And even Bakram, who is now the new boogeyman at 154, didn't seem too interested in a Crawford fight. So to me, I wish he could stay at 154 and become undisputed again. There's some good matchups for him at 154, but I just think he was blackballed. No one wanted to fight him. They will attach their name to his to build up their brand, but at the end of the day, they're not going to fight. And these fickle-minded fans will not believe it because they don't want to believe it because they do not like Crawford. But the truth is the truth. This is why I'm a fanboy of boxing, not a fanboy of a boxer. It keeps you objective. But anyway, leave your thoughts and comments below. Beezy, I'm gone.